How you doing, guys and gals? It's Doug Wilson from Yellow Hawk Custom Kydex and Gear. If you guys stick around, everything I just showed you, I'm going to talk about. I'm also going to talk about some of my favorite knives to take out into the bush and why, and about a couple of makers and why I feel this maker is very good or whatever, okay? So if you guys stick around, we'll get right to it. Okay, so I'm back from Blade Show. Everything went really well down there. As you know, I was at the Dark Timber Custom Knives table with Peter Kohler, Dave Raffersberger, and Zeke. So basically, long story short, everything sold out the first day. Pete's good at what he does. He's very popular now. His blades are becoming highly sought after. So I'm very fortunate to own a few of them. So basically, Blade Show went great. I don't have any complaints whatsoever. There's a lot of good knife builders down there. I do have my favorites. And I got some of them sitting here on this table. Okay? So basically this video is going to touch on the types of blades in certain situations that I like to carry out into the bush, with consideration to the maker, the grind, the edge bevel, everything, okay? Because when it comes to knives, I've been in this business a long time. I've spent my entire life basically in the bush, in the field, as a civilian as well as when I was in the military. Okay, the reason I went into SF in the first place is because they spend a lot of time in the bush. It was a no-brainer. Okay, so when it comes to knives, I'm really particular because of my experiences in the bush. Okay, so I'm gonna kind of just dive in, start off, show you what I carry on a daily basis and EDC type stuff, okay? And I'm telling you, it's not going to be anything special, okay? It's going to be what works. If you are a regular to this channel, you're going to find out real quick that I really am not concerned with what other people say about knives. You know? The one person that can tell you whether a blade is going to be right for you in any given situation is you. You're the one that's going to have to be wielding it in the bush or in an EDC application or whatever. You're the one that's going to be using it. Now, it is great to go on YouTube and look at all these reviews and whatnot, but bottom line is get the knife, use it, and if it works for you, keep it. Okay, we all have our favorite blades. I do too. And those favorite blades that we have are based on our experiences in the bush. If you don't have a lot of experience in the bush, you may not be making the best choices when it comes to blades, only because that experience is not there. If you have a lot of experience in the bush, then you're probably going to be pretty particular about not only your blades, but the sheath that covers those blades. Sheaths are very important. That's why I do what I do. Because there was never anybody out there who was considering these things. Production knives, even custom knife makers, were offering their knives, good knives, with shitty sheaths. Shitty sheaths. Say that 10 times quick. Shitty sheaths, shitty sheaths, shitty sheaths. Anyway, so that's been the tradition. Great knives, crappy sheaths, or just mediocre sheaths, okay? It's the crappy sheaths that keep me in business, okay? So, in my opinion, the sheath can be just as important as the knife. Depends on how you feel about it, okay? Of course, that sheath is not going to be able to do everything that knife can do, but when it comes to my sheaths, that knife can't do everything the sheath can do, okay? Number one, that knife can't protect itself, and it can't protect you from it. My sheaths can. And a Yellow Hawk, to date, I have not ever had anyone lose a knife out of one of my sheaths. Ever. Not even once. I had a guy lose his entire rig, all right, with the knife in it, and found it 10 months later in the bush down in Georgia. David Drake. David Drake contacted me and said, "Hey, Doug, I got to tell you this." He said, "That sheath you made for my Anaconda and my SE piggyback, I had an SE Izula piggyback on it, and you can see that review on YouTube, on David Drake's channel. I don't even know what it's called, but if you PM David Drake, he can give you the information. It was a great review, okay? So anyway, he loses his knife, sits it on a log or sits it down on the ground or whatever down in Georgia, where last year they had like record rainfall, and lost it. Couldn't remember where he put it. Walked away from it, and he was like 14 miles away from where he put it when he finally realized, where the hell did I put my knife? Okay, so it stayed out there for 10 months until he went back to that area and scoured that area looking for it. He found it. Okay, he said that the sheath was in absolutely perfect condition. With all that rain they had, it was out in the elements, okay, just laying there on the ground. The knife was rusted, but the sheath was in perfect shape, he said. Okay, so I don't know, 10 months out there in the, you know, that's like, I don't know, years worth of wear, you know what I mean? So anyway, I'm going to get to the knives, all right, EDC. Here's the first knife, okay? I generally always have this knife on me somewhere, okay, where it's easily accessible, okay? Now, if you see, it does not have a Kydex sheath on it, okay? I am partial to this leather sheath, okay, because of where this knife comes from, okay, and because of who turned me on to EK knives, okay? This is an EK personal protection knife, basically. Double-edged dagger, razor sharp, and in the right hands, this thing can be used in a self-defense situation quite effectively, okay? So, generally, I carry this on me all the time. It's somewhere on my body, okay? So, that's the first one. This is an EK, okay? I suggest, if you really like well-made tactical style blades, check out the EKs, okay? They don't make them anymore. There are a couple of collaborations nowadays with the son, John Eck's son, with Spartan Blades and Becker, I believe. They're kind of bringing back some old EK designs, but these are badass blades, okay? These blades are built for combat, okay? So that was his intended purpose since World War II, I think, okay? there's some guys out there that know a lot more about X than I do, okay? However, my buddy Bob Bieshke, you've seen him on my channel. I served with him in the military. He turned me on to X a long time ago when I was in high school, okay? So, that's the first EDC right there, okay? Let me give you a better look at it. It's got a paracord grip on it, okay? It's nice and tight, not loose, okay? Like, as I'm showing you these blades, just keep in mind that I am very particular about the knives I carry. Very. It's got to work for me, or I will not carry it, okay? Okay, anyway, here's another one that I EDC, okay? This is Tops, I'm sorry, Cold Steel Fin Wolf, okay? There are better folders out there, and I will admit right now that I've never been much of a folder guy. Number one reason, they're not strong enough, okay? You try to do some hard tasks with this, you're going to break it, okay? I haven't seen a folder yet that's as strong as a fixed blade. They claim they are, you know, zero tolerance and all those guys. They claim they're as strong, but they're not, okay? Always fails right here at the hilt where the locking mechanism is, okay? They're not made for hard work, okay? So generally, I don't carry them, okay? Because every blade I carry, I want to be able to do hard work with if I have to, okay? However, this is a nice little folder that fits the pocketbook. They're like $39. It's got that triad locking system, which my buddy Mike Wallace had a hand in designing, him and Andrew Demko, okay? They both work for Cold Steel. Mike Wallace has his own private company. Andrew Demko has his own. He's a folder guy. Mike Wallace is a fixed blade guy, okay? But they both work for Cold Steel full time. Most of the prototypes are made by those two, okay, before they go into production for Cold Steel, okay? So Mike Wallace and Andrew Demko designed this blade, okay? And then they made the prototype, and then it went into production, however that works, okay? So anyway, Mike Wallace gave this to me as a gift. I really like the triad locking system, okay? I'm not much for folders, but this is a strong locking system. Probably one of the best on the market, I would say, okay? There are really good ones out there. I'm not saying there's not, okay? This is a very strong locking system, okay? The way it's designed is real simple, real strong, okay? So, I like this. I like the way it cuts, okay? This is my, if I don't feel like pulling my main blade out or whatever, make a feather stick or whatever real quick, it's raining, blah, 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 this will do it, okay? This is a phenomenal blade. I think it's AUS 8. Yeah, AUS 8 steel. Run-of-the-mill, good, tried and true steel, okay? So there's that one. All right. Next one. Shit, where is it? Oh, here it is. Okay. This is the next one I would EDC. It depends on the situation. This is an EDC for the bush, for a neck knife, okay? This is a Wallace Field Series 1. Mike Wallace, Field Series 1, okay? The number one reason I like Mike Wallace's blades is because his handles are very comfortable and they're substantial, okay? They go all the way to the end of your palm and longer and more. So you got several different positions that you can purchase this knife with, okay? You know, you can choke up this way, all right? You can pull back a little bit. Long handle, that's what I like, okay? Peter Kohler's the same way. I love his handles. They're long, they're substantial, and they fill up the palm, okay? Anybody who's worked with a knife long enough knows that if that knife is not comfortable in your hand for an hour, you best not carry it, okay? Because there are going to be situations, especially when things get real, okay, where you're going to have that knife in your hand for an hour, 2 hours, whatever, okay, working with it, okay, because this is your primary cutting tool, and you're going to need to use it. If that handle is not comfortable, so keep in mind, all these knives that I'm showing you, I'm okay with the handle on it. Okay, that's number one for me. All right, it's this one's CPM 154, which is a powdered steel, super steel. Okay, just stronger than most forgeable steels. Wear resistance is off the charts, toughness off the charts. Just you're likely not going to break this knife. Okay, it's just, unless you're really abusing it, you're likely not going to break it. Whereas you might break a forgeable steel knife, depending on what it is. Okay, you know, the 52-100 is a really good forgeable steel. Pete Kohler has a way of forging S35VN, okay, which is not intended to be a forged metal. Pete Kohler does it, and he might be making it a little stronger by the way he does it. Okay, so there's variations here. Okay, so that's my number one EDC in the bush for a neck knife. Okay, not number one, but sometimes I use it. Okay, I love it. It's a good, tough, stout knife. Okay, 5/32. Okay, I generally like an 1/8 inch neck knife to make it a little lighter, but this one works great for me. Okay, here's another EDC for the bush. Okay, this is the Peter Kohler Tavi, Dark Timber Custom Knives Tavi. Pete made this one for me, especially to go with my Timberhawk Bushcrafter. Okay, the handles. Okay, I'm going to be getting to that knife. All right, so this is the Tavi. This is his new EDC necker. I make a lot of sheaths for these knives. Here's one system that I've developed for it with a ferro rod on it. Okay, and I EDC this in the bush a lot. I've only had it for maybe 3 weeks, but it's going to be with me a lot. This is a great knife. Substantial handle, fills up the palm. You can get some heavy work out of this knife. Okay, now generally across the board, when I say neck knife, you don't always get hard work out of a neck knife. It depends on what the neck knife is, who makes it, what the grind is, what the edge bevel is, all that. Okay, like I said, I'm very particular about what I carry. Okay, it's like I studied this stuff. It's like a college course to me. And I want to get an A on the final, So there it is. There's the system. This is ATAX Vista, this particular Kydex. And what's unique about this system is it hangs on the neck like this. All right, hangs like that. And on the back of it, there's a ferro rod. Okay, with a flip out system. Okay. Ferro rod flips out. It's on a rubber bushing. Okay, flips out and it stays there. It's not going anywhere. Okay, you use the sheath and the side of your finger to stabilize it. And you got the whole sheath as a handle. It works great.